Welcome to Community College Soccer on Sportsnet, USA.net. 3C2A playoffs for the women. Your Saddleback team against Long Beach City College tonight. Saddleback looked magnificent the other night. And, of course, speaking of teams that continue, well, the men did it, so why not? Let's have the women. You look at the way they go with a 4-3-2-2. And that's going to end a 2 for your Saddleback team. Saddleback in gold, going from left to right. Long Beach City College in white, going from right to left in the black shorts. We'll get to the starters in just a second. Sora tries to make a play over there for Long Beach City. So you have Campos, Hunter, Grace, Moreno, Velasco, English, Soria is how I should say it, Velasquez, Duarte, and Jackie Garbe, the goalie for Long Beach. Lorenzo for your team will be out there. Samantha Arce, Daniela Jara, Caitlin Peters is going to start today. Janae Saeed, Choli Campagne, Angela Nieto, Caitlin Ramirez, Mason Morton, and Emery Seamus. In goal, Cameron Simmons, whose goal against is fantastic. Winner moves on. Loser gets ready for next season. The men won what some people might think a surprise game against Oxnard today in their attempt. But then El Camino lost. Mount Sac lost. So a few surprises out there in the world of soccer. Cypress College for the women, they move on. They won 4-0 today in a heavy drizzle game. They had a huge crowd out there. Big throw-in for Saddleback. Cleared out by Long Beach. And, of course, we talk about goals against. You want to look at Garibay. Jackie's got a goal against of 0.55. So the door is already shut. We'll see who cracks it open a little. Whoever may will determine the outcome of this game here on Sportsnet, USA.net. Saddleback working the far side of the field. Defense, and not bad defense out there on the far side. Three back deep for your Bobcats on defense. Ball taken away, fed over the corner. Foot race on the far side, in the middle. Nice attack from behind, a flop. Hoping to get a call as it was better defense than offense by Long Beach. Camila Velasco in the middle of the field for Long Beach making the play. So Velasco peels back, makes the big stop. for the Vikings to start this game off. This is the one thing you'll see about these games every once in a while. Ball goes out, people have to track it down. Layla, the midfielder here on the near side of the field for Long Beach. 25 points this season. 10 goals, 5 assists. Throw in by Long Beach on the far side. And a counter off the heels. And so the Vikings will pick it up and look to make a play there. Layla hasn't come off her foot, but it's going to go out. Just saved. I thought it was going to go out. Beautiful play and a save right there on this side of the field by Samantha Saurier. Take it up again. Saurier comes over for it, tries to control it. She'll handle the throw in for the Vikings of Long Beach City College. 11-4-6, 6-2-1 in South Coast Conference. Double team down in the post. No call. You were looking for it. If you're somebody down there, you're looking for it. If you're Long Beach City, they don't get the call on the little bump as the ball goes in. It'll be another throw out, throw in. Layla throws a high arching to Velasco. Gets kicked right back at her. So she tries to get to Camellia. Once again, going deep, trying to get it in there. You can hear the young women for your Bobcats yelling, "Clear it out, clear it out, clear it out," as it's going to go out. Angela Nieto trying to patrol the middle of the field for the Bobcats, along with Chloe Campagne. Nice steal right there by Junaid Syed. So the Bobcats will get a free kick roughly at the 25-yard line. Just started off this one. Like we said, Cypress won this season. Now Long Beach is going to get everybody back. Deep into the box, sitting there, a little pooch shot off the post. As close as you could get. And Saurier, there's the goal. And this team has all of a sudden gotten so much different as Angelina Nieto gets the goal here at the 35-minute mark. Multiple scores on this team now. It's just like BJ gave him a magic pill and said, here you go. You're going to be a scorer, you're going to be a scorer, and you're going to be a scorer. Same on the men's side. It's just when you look, and you know when you look at the women's side of everything, this entire coaching staff.
Scoring the goal for Saddleback in the 10th minute, it's Angelina Nieto, her 10th goal of the season. Assist from Janan Saeed.
So Saeed gets the assist on that. As we get an offside, trying to get it back to Angelino. 23 points. She had 9 goals coming into this game, so that's goal number 10. Saeed had 7 assists coming into this game, so that's assist number 8 for her for your Bobcats. Taking down the far side, it's going to go out. Stays with your Bobcats. Campagnier throws it in. Chloe with a nice little throw. Taken there by the Vikings. Going straight up the middle. Stopped on that. Trying to go deep. Trapped nicely by Velasco, and then it gets taken away. Stays in. And then we have players that go down. We can't say who went down because it's right by the Long Beach bench. Everybody's up. Caitlin Peters was swallowed up over there where everybody went down by the bench, along with Samantha Saurier. Free kick for the Bobcats. Center of the box, header that comes out. Clear it straight back. So you watch your Bobcats play this fundamental soccer, and everybody goes, do you score much? Well, they have already in this game. Early and quick, and that's the thing that they needed to do. Samantha Arce throws it in, and it's going to be a goal kick. Nobody could get to it. So goal kick for Long Beach. But as you watch the defense here, you're going to see 2 forwards up front, 4 midfielders, and 4 defensive players. So it's a 4-4-2 now for your Bobcats on the field. 4-4-2, defensive setup, but it will take an amoeba shape as the game goes on. Seamus clears it out for your Bobcats in the midfield. Inadvertent handball, and now it's called. So I wondered if that was going to get called. It was inadvertent. Hand goes out, gets struck, deflects the direction of the ball, and the referee calls it. 1-0. Scored early at the 35-minute mark in this first period. Floater deep, headed out. Picked up off the side of the foot by Long Beach, and there's the thing that you see, everybody going deep, and it's going to be a throw-in for Long Beach. Layla will throw it in. Goes deep in the box for the Vikings. Layla with a big hook shot over the top of the goal. That was sweet. Knocked down a 7-iron Put a little baby hook at the end. And it almost gets in there. Race by Nieto. Trying to get down on the near side. Gets cut off at the corner. Two on one as the ball goes in, and it'll be a goal kick. So again, you watch the setup. Too close to the Vikings' goal. 4 at the 40-yard line. Then you go across the 50, 4 more there. A 4-4-2 is what BJ is currently running with his Bobcats. Allison Lozano puts it there, almost getting it back up again. Garibay comes out and makes the save for Long Beach. And we'll take it in the box down at the other direction, and Cameron Simmons will save it and bring it up for your Bobcats. 1-0. The OEC flexing its ability tonight. Sorey drops out of her foot, puts it in the middle of the field. Once again, we're going to go down the middle, headed out, and there is not that fluidity between partners right now for Long Beach. Off the goal. And what you're seeing Long Beach run is a 3-2-4, 3-2-3-2 is what they're running right now, and that's their setup for the Vikings. And when you talk about a 3-2-3-2, again, you've got 5 people back on defense, basically. So it is not that over-aggressive attack that you will see from a team. This is why you have 2 goalkeepers that have such great goals against in this game. Deep shot in the middle, headed out one more time by your Bobcats, and then cleaned up in the middle of the field. Little foot or arch getting stepped on by your Bobcats as it's going to roll out. Danica Hunter for the Vikings just lets it die out of bounds. Hunter, one of the defense people for the Vikings. Fighting for it, going after that was Lorena Moreno along with her partner Camila Velasco. They couldn't handle it. They take it, goes to the far side. Now you've got to clear a lane. 3 people there. If you can get the foot on it, it goes back. Once again, it goes back to the goalie and just calmly sits there. 26-13. So we've only had 20 minutes of this half go, but right now, your Bobcats are up 1-0. Cypress won 4-0. Santiago Canyon is playing tonight. The men won for your Bobcat team, so they won. Inadvertent contact, no whistle blown. Over the back, inadvertent contact, no whistle blown. As Choli Campagnier tries to make a move on it to the far side. Gives it up. And then that's more feet, so they're going to call a trip. It'll be a free kick for Long Beach with 20 minutes being played in this first half. 1-0. On a quick shot early in this game, and all that does is make you relax if you're a soccer team. You're up by 1. You're not stressing out. You know this is, hey, if we don't win, we don't play anymore this year. So now you can breathe a little easier being the women from Saddleback College, knowing you're up by 1. So we get a trailing play where a whistle is called. It has nothing to do with the action, but it's a trailing play where they call it. Usually you'll see where it consists of the ball or anything like that. They get Caitlin Peters. Caitlin Peters all of a sudden just walks away and says, hey, you know what? Just playing a little D. That's all. Nice save by the coach down on the sidelines. Says his goalkeeper. That's how you do it. Just suck it up, pull it in. So if one does it, they said, let's let the other one do it. Back-to-back saves by the coaches. I don't know, though. One looked cleaner than the other one. Dance in the middle. Need a left foot right about now. Can't get the left foot on the ball. Now reset. And you let the Vikings with a tap. And they said play on. And it's a long kick. Here's what's really interesting. You have people inadvertently run into each other. Then you have a Viking who gets discombobulated. And you have a Bobcat that doesn't want to step on her, so it sort of helps her to the ground. Referee doesn't call anything. Everybody relaxes because they think that's going to be called. Long kick over the top of the net. Keep everything on somebody's feet, and that's what you like to do. That's Choli. Campagnier does it well again. So let's move it back. Caitlin Ramirez gets ready. Ramirez out of Huntington Beach, Edison High School. Puts it right in the middle of the box, off the head of Long Beach City. That'll be a corner. So a sweet little kick by Caitlin Ramirez, 5'10" freshman. Mason Morton, midfielder. Caitlin Ramirez, a defender. Short corner, sets up the play. Now you come back, pitch shot in the middle, on the backside of the net, headed towards the middle, cleared by Long Beach on a nice call play by BJ. Nothing doing though there. So you play it short, kick it back, let that person take the corner, back post, and look for somebody to head it in. So you sail the ball too deep, there's 4 back in gold. And when it's misplayed, they'll take it out in the middle of the field. Goalkeeper will come out and pick it up. just a little too long. If you shorten that one up just a little, we could just shorten it up a little, it would have been a perfect pass. Through the feet of Samantha Arce. Try to stay up with it again. Chloe tries to do something with it. Can't. Solid hit down the middle. No flag up. A little disconcerting because I did think the Long Beach player was offsides on that one. And right now what everybody's doing is playing, okay, play it short, then it gets, let's go long, let's see who we can get it to. So Ray takes it to the far side of the field for Long Beach. And an invert whistle stops play. With 19:04 to go, well, it's your Bobcats up by 1. It's the Bobcats 1. The Vikings 0 here on Sportsnet, USA.net. Little Bobcat volleyball going on right now. Albert Robles calling that about half a block down on our left in the gym. Ed Ford and I here for women's soccer here on Sportsnet, USA.net. Give and go, trying to make a nice play on that. Velasco dances with it. Then Velasco gives it off to Layla. Layla drops it off again. That goes over to Soray. They take it back to the defense. Put it in the middle of the field, it goes by, and if you're a solid, quality goalkeeper like Cameron Simmons is, you go out and get it, and that's why your goal against is 0.27. Straight off the knee. Little complaint by Danica Hunter. She thought she was held on that for Long Beach. But Hunter drives the ball straight out of bounds off her knee. So no call by the official. Hunter was hoping she'd get a call. Doesn't get a call. And you see right now what BJ's doing. Just like when the last ball was struck. It's struck, so Janae Saeed takes off, hoping that the ball goes past her while she's still onside, drops in offside land, but therefore it's still a legal ball for her to track down. And we're going to get a substitution. So coming into the game is Sophia Lepay for the Vikings. So Lepay becomes a midfielder on the near side of the field. Probably looking for a little more speed. By the Vikings. So it'll be a throw in. Got to back up just a little, Layla. They said it's right by your coach. Turn around and look for your coach. Let's still take those additional 2 steps. They can look at the other bench and say, hey, it's right by your coach, as Velasco couldn't do anything with it. So we'll see if the Bobcats can handle the throw-in better. Little heel drag, and then it comes back off the toe. So giving back both directions quickly. Once again, Velasco has it come off her foot, drops to Soiree. She makes a move on it, takes it down, has it taken off her foot. Tries to cover a throw-in. Josephina English takes that away from the Bobcats. So English for Long Beach City gets it going. Far post, easy save right there by Cameron Simmons. No problems for her, even though the stadium looks a little damp outside. The turf is probably a little slick, but so far in this game, nobody's had any footing problems. Everybody's ran at full speed. Of course, you watch that play, it sort of looks like my Toyota coming down here as Mason Morton loses that one for your Bobcats. A little give and go. Trying to make the turn. Can't do anything with it. You make the turn, but it's going to go off the defender's foot. So Nieto's going to get a corner kick out of this for her team. Nieto, the only goal in this game, the 35-minute mark, with an assist by Janae Saeed. So Janae gets the assist to up her point total this season. Big corner. Low liner in the middle. Ball is on the ground. Try it again. Header in the middle. Ed Ford, that could not have been any sweeter down there as Allison Lozano has the ball come back to her. Lozano drives it back into the middle, and it's now 2-0. So Lozano makes it look sweeter than honey and gets the assist. And, of course, Angelina Nieto, she's money tonight. We'll see if they give all what I thought I saw, and I'm going to give it to the assist to Lozano till I get told different.
Scoring for the Cats in the 33rd minute. Again, it's Angelina Nieto. 11th goal this season. Assist from Allison Lozano. 2-0 Cats.
Feeling good about myself tonight, Ed. I'm 2 for 2 on these. Old man can actually see tonight. Let's see if we can get 3. And this is just what is a big curving one. And I tell you what, you know, Angelina just said, hey, hat trick in the first half, I'll take it. And you need to realize on that last goal, what happened is Angelino sends in a corner. It gets rejected, kicked back out right at her. She sends a lower corner kick in from about 5 yards closer. And, of course, all you need to do then is be somebody like Nieto. Have your head up, looking for the ball and redirect. That's what she did. 2 quick goals in this first half. Cyprus got 3 of their 4 in the second half. Shot down the middle. Saved once again. Long Beach City, the number 1 seed. On this side. Cyprus beat them. Now Saddleback is trying to win theirs. Saddleback trying to beat Long Beach City tonight. Cyprus beat the Desert. Long Beach City women, the men were number 1, the women are number 14. We'll catch up with all the scores at halftime. Ed Ford and myself here on sportsnetusa.net. So if the women win today, it becomes Traffic Jam Tuesday here on sportsnetusa.net. Because we'll see who Saddleback wants to have on the air and who we can accommodate on the air. The men won in soccer. Football's got a playoff game. Well, a bowl game. The women win, they'll stay alive. If volleyball wins today, they stay alive. Little skip shot. Picked up easily by your Bobcats. 8 minutes to go. 37 minutes have gone by. 2-0 Bobcats here on sportsnetusa.net. The Vikings with really no big threat artistically. The women have been the dominant team here. Creative shots. Shots with flair. Shots that show style and grace. And that has helped them get up 2-0 here on sportsnetusa.net. Another attack coming from the side. Crossing shot. And just too far for Nieto, who was in the right place at the right time, as Isabel Whitaker put it right on the money. Hannah Allen now coming out on the field. Campagna goes to the bench. So Allen now out. Number 1 for your Bobcats. Goes over to Hannah. Hannah sort of slaps it towards the direction of the goal. Taken there, cleared easily by Long Beach. Well, it's been the Nieto story in this first half. And she almost had number 3 on a great feed downfield. Long Beach trying to figure out some sort of crack in the Bobcats' armor. Can't find any yet. Make the run. Make it tough. As Velasco makes that run for Long Beach. And again, now Long Beach is starting to move people up. They're going to keep one person back on defense. This is similar to what your Bobcats do. There's 4 people across midfield on a defensive jaunt right there. You can see Josephina English crawling up into the mix. Josephina's around the 20-yard line. She'll back up just a little. So if the Bobcats get a break, Josephina will be back. Header, out and over. .507 to go. 2-0, Saddleback. The men win. The women are winning here on Sportsnet, USA.net. BJ trying to double dip today here on Sportsnet, USA.net. Talked about the men, get to see the women. And BJ and his staff were the OEC coaching staff of the season. So they now make it a coaching staff award, not just a individual head coaches award. Which I really sort of like, Ed. I like that they honor the staff now, not just one individual coach. Because you have your goalie coach out there, you'll have your coach that teaches defense. You'll have your coach that will specialize in certain formations on offense. You'll be your head coach that melds it all together. And you can include your athletic trainers to your staff, your equipment managers to your staff. There it is. Dead ball in the middle of the field. And the goalie for Long Beach is just standing there watching, needs to take that chance and go out and get the ball. And again, you watch, drop in the middle, make a run, wait for somebody to break. If nobody does, you take it yourself. Picked up here in the corner. 3 minutes to go in this first half. It's your Bobcats 2, the Vikings 0 here on Sportsnet, USA.net. You know, all when you watch soccer and you watch defense, all you need to do is keep that player in front of you. Don't flinch when the ball comes at you. Be able to use your feet. If you're in trouble, you take it up and out. Look for that person in the color jersey you have. Instead of just kicking it, look for some individual. And that is what the Bobcats have done on a superior level this night. As we take it to the far side of the field, and this is where the foot race is something where, okay, now if you're Long Beach, they need to be running with the person who has the ball instead of standing and waiting, because exactly what just happened there, it's taken away and driven down the field. And a nice play by somebody I haven't mentioned a lot tonight, Emery Simmons, who I think is an outstanding player. We will talk about those players that made all OEC conference here on Sportsnet, USA.net. Sorey takes it to the opposite side for Long Beach. Drop it back in the middle. Spread the field. Now if you're Long Beach, you need to spread the field. Open it up just a little. Look for help. Make everything a little wider, a little more difficult. Knocked down again into the vacuum hands of the goalie for the Bobcats. Cameron's just sucking everything up that comes her direction. It's like she's got sponge cups on her hands today because of the rain. So the referee called up here. For stoppage time, but I didn't hear. You look at the Bobcats. They mark a player. Everybody's got a player marked out there, or an area marked out there from a defensive point of view, and that's what allows them to be keeping the sheet clean in this game. That's what allowed them to be conference champions. BJ made things simplified. Hannah Allen makes a run. Hannah stops there, looks, takes the foot, drops it off to where she thought was going to be a gold jersey. And that gold jersey decided to take off on her. So Hannah comes up empty-handed. Here's the run. Somebody needs to meet the runner. You can't let the runner come to you. You need to meet the runner. You dictate the defense. Don't let the offense dictate the defense to you. Ball will go out. So I can't believe there's that much stoppage time on this field tonight here on SportsNetUSA.net. Ed Ford and I'll take a look around the 3C 2A to see who did what today, who's doing what now. Look at some of the ramifications of those who everybody thought would win, lost earlier today. How does that reshape what's going to be coming up? And then I do have to talk to Ed because we were talking about North and South, how they're so different when it comes to the playoffs. Like Ed said, the North is just finishing their season, but they've got no brackets up. The South lets you know immediately who's playing. And like Corey Nayland would ask, why is there 24 in every other sport, but when it comes to volleyball, there's only 20? More questions in education than there are answers. Doesn't matter what the subject matter is, you never hear the answer you think you should. Bobcats saying, well, you know, one of the reasons is because we can stop it. And that brings us to the end of the first half. As we come to the end of the first half, well, it's been Bobcat, Bobcat, Bobcat. Well, actually, it's been one Bobcat, Angelina Nieto, who's got your team up 2-0 here on Sportsnet USA.net. Ed Ford and the old guy, happy to bring you this game here on Sportsnet USA.net. And Mr. Ford, it's been an interesting first half again, and it's been an interesting, so far, first part of what I actually call the playoffs this week. Last week I really called it qualifier week. I mean, that's how I sort of look at it. I don't look at this week as last week as being, hey, they're in there. I know people said that's okay. Even had a couple coaches today said there's too many buys in this right now. The top 4 should get a bye. The other 20 should play each other. And that was mentioned to me today in an earlier soccer game that I was at. We'll see if they change that around. Another coach looked at me and said, I can't stand the power rankings with having the teams get there because of power rankings. And, of course, one of the big disdains that Mr. Ford and I have when it comes to all the sports are RPI, power rankings. How much weight do you put on arbitrary aspects of this? But Ed, this is really, to me, this is really the first day of playoffs in soccer.
Yes, in soccer, it's the first day.
Yeah, because, I mean, this is where the big kids get involved, too. The teams that were supposedly better than everybody else, as we know. And, you know, all of a sudden you look at what's going on and then the outcomes. And, there are well, to some people there are surprises. To other people, they are not. As we look at what's going on in Northern California, and Ed, I should just let you do Northern California because you talk about these teams because you're one of the few that know more about these programs than the rest of us that are involved in sports here in Southern California.
It's all an illusion.
Oh, okay. Well, there it is.
So let's go through the women's soccer, and we'll start with the North, Cosumnes River, losing to Hartnell. And I believe, if it was a home game, I guess Hartnell was higher seeded. Fresno City just blasted Modesto today by a score of 7-0, and I'm sure the Fresno City College football team wish they could have done that to Modesto, but that didn't happen. Santa Rosa and Skyline, one of those colleges where they only play a limited amount of sports, and we have no score. That game was at 1 o'clock, so it is over. West Valley and San Joaquin Delta, no report from that game. And then a very interesting game, Evergreen Valley against Lake Tahoe. Lake Tahoe is the number 1 team in the North, number 1 seed. Evergreen Valley is number, I believe, 17. The interesting thing about that game was that due to, if you've ever been up to Lake Tahoe this time of year, sometimes the weather does not cooperate. This is what Lake Tahoe's field looks like, and that is a beautiful, beautiful field. Pine trees all around it, and very, very well done. But if you look at your National Weather Service, there's been snow. There's snow for today. There's snow for tomorrow. There's snow for the next day. So that game was snowed out, or at least them playing there. And what happened was they moved the game to Folsom Lake. So Folsom Lake is having 2 soccer matches, 2 women's matches on the same day, which is pretty interesting. They have lights there, so they can pull off. No, it's not like Cyprus where everybody light your candles.
Well, wait a minute. They got electricity.
Oh, that's true.
There's the difference. Here's the difference.
So,
that little squirrel was running as hard as he could today.
So Lake Tahoe survives that game. So the number 1 seed moves on, and we can't say that about some other number 1 seeds because there were some upsets today that happened. Let's go the rest of the scores so that we have in. Siskiyou's got clobbered by Sierra by a score of 9-0. Sierra letting up on the gas in the second half. Sort of a little bit of a surprise that Chaffee over Miracosta. Thought that might go the other way. L.A. Pierce and Pasadena, final with no score, but there had to be penalty kicks, and somebody had to win.
Pasadena won that on
penalty kicks. Then the game that we were at earlier today until the heavens opened up and there was all sorts of rain and power failures and lack of connectivity and whatever else you can throw in. Bad clam chowder. Cypress shuts out College of the Desert by a score of 4-0.
That could have been uglier, but it was not. So fortunately,
I thought from you guys' description was ugly enough.
It was.
San Diego Mesa, Ventura, another second round game, and that one started almost 3 hours ago, so there should be a final score. Mount Sac and San Diego Canyon, and that has a 1-1 score. Do you have a final on that one, Mark?
I do not. No, it says it's in the 70th minute, so
they're playing some overtime?
They're playing extra time, and, that's a pretty interesting matchup. Mount Sac is number 6. Santiago Canyon, number 22 in the power rankings.
But we have to remember with Santiago Canyon, they've won the women's soccer championship numerous times.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So they've got that charge in them that you really look at it. If you look at the last 10 years, Think of how many times, Cypress was there, didn't win it. Saddleback has won it. Santiago Canyon has won it, I don't know, 4 times, 5 times. I mean, they won a couple in a row. So those 3 teams are really, and Santiago's kind of down, but rebuilding again.
Yep.
So, but those 3 teams are real powerhouse women's soccer teams.
Yeah, they recruit well.
And not that Mount Sac is they're a bunch of, that they're slackers either. The score here, of course, is 2-0. Long Beach down to the Bobcats. San Monica Southwestern. That game should have started, but we don't have a score because boy, Southwestern takes a long time to drive those little Post-it notes up the freeway and to tell people what's going on. Santa Barbara and San Diego Miramar, no score. And Los Pasitos losing to Folsom Lake. That's that double header that we were talking about earlier. And if you've never been to Los Pasitos College, excellent facility for soccer. They have a nice practice field like they have here at Saddleback, and then they play the games on a grass field.
So is the practice field grass too then?
No, the practice field is
turf?
a turf field. So
that's
I guess they
interesting.
also have the option of if there's a problem with there's been too much rain, they still need to get in the game.
They
can
go to the
play-
turf field.
They can play, yes, on
Oh,
the turf
that's
field.
pretty interesting.
So, yeah, unless they turned it into a farmland since the last time I've been up there. But you never can tell. Let's go to the men's side where Saddleback also picked up a victory. That was kind of, that's sort of, you would say that's is an upset.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Against Oxnard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody really thought they had an opportunity to win that game.
But they managed to, and that was, BJ has to take that long drive back down here, and of course, if you win, that drive feels a whole lot better, doesn't it? So,
yeah.
What was the final score on that, Mark?
3-2.
3-2. So, Saddleback over Oxnard. So they continue in the playoffs. They'll go on to the what round will we be in next? The third round? Third
yeah.
round. Chaffey and Norco. If you didn't know, Norco Community College, once again, like Skyline, limited amount of sports, soccer and volleyball, I believe. They shut out Chaffey by a score of 1-0. Santa Rosa and Hartnell. So Hartnell got both of their teams, men's and women's, into the playoffs. The men's doing better. They didn't get eliminated, and they beat Santa Rosa by a score of 1-0. Cerritos, the men, another team that has been dominant in soccer for 10 to 15 years. Not saying they always win it, but one of the best teams, one of the best programs. They get by Santa Barbara by a score of 1-0. Butte and De Anza. Butte wins that one by a score of 2-0. Miracosta over El Camino. El Camino at one time was the number 1 team. United Soccer Coaches of America had them ranked as the number 1 D3 team in community college, and they just couldn't pull it off, and they lose. So
that's a huge upset.
yeah, that's a big one. So Miracosta, I think the women won too, so they're cruising. Cuyamaca and Santa Monica all tied at 1, so we have a penalty kick thing. Did we get anything on them?
Let's see. Let's see if I've got that.
And we've seen Cuyamaca before. They played, I don't know if that was last year, but they played Cypress.
No, I don't have that. I didn't have anything
in the
yet.
opening round. Okay, Kenyatta and City College of San Francisco. Kenyatta wins that one 2-1. Feather River and, once again, Skyline. Skyline beats Feather River 1-0. Fresno, the men and the women are both rolling in soccer. Tight one with Cosumnes River 2-1, but Fresno comes out on top. We'll see if Fresno gets a football bowl game or not. They should. Pasadena City College and Mount Sac goes down. So Mount Sac is eliminated from both the men's and the women's soccer.
Yeah.
Were they hosting the state?
No, it's up north.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Northern California.
Taft and Folsom Lake, that's a final, and this is the men, so it's a final 1-1. We'll have to find out who won on the penalty kicks on that one. And Taft has a good men's program, not well known, but obviously they're in the playoffs. Second half, Fullerton College hosting Los Angeles City College. Los Angeles City College bringing their sports back after, what was it, at least maybe a decade of not playing sports at all. They finished that parking structure that has a track, what they call it the rainbow track. Each of the lanes is a different color, and a nice soccer field. And also there's a softball field on top of that. And when they finished the structure, they dropped all the sports. So,
Jeez.
hey, yeah, that was a surprise. But they're back, and they're playing soccer. They're playing basketball. So you will hear Albert Robles calling some games for the ELAC Huskies as they will take on Los Angeles City because they're in the South Coast Conference. I don't know which one it is, the A or the B, but they have those divided. Merced and West Valley, no score with that one. That game is underway. Long Beach and Cypress. Long Beach up 1-0. This is the men. And that game would be at Veterans Stadium.
It is, yeah. And I got told by the coaches from Cypress, because their game was at 7, and they'd been over there. They go, have you guys seen it since the renovation? I said no. They suppose they have almost the same setup that Saddleback has. So there's the main field at Veterans Stadium. And then if you go out and back, there is a full-blown soccer field out there, and there's a full-blown football field out there. They said it is just incredible. I looked at them and they said the track is sensational. They brought a lot of basically hires, not instructors anymore. So professional hires to bring back, because their old track coach had some, the Kersey Joyner and people like that went through Long Beach City College. So they brought back those programs. And they said, he looked at me and he goes, I wouldn't be surprised if they spent $100 million. I went, okay, so that's where they're at tonight.
Well, I hope they put in elevators. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, oh, I'm not walking up there.
And then, was there any spare money to revamp the new softball field with lights? But maybe people don't want to play with lights. And in our final game, or the men's soccer, Las Positas again, this time taking on Evergreen Valley. Evergreen Valley, they are the number 1 seed up north.
Yep.
And Las Positas is number 17. So Evergreen Valley, another school that does not play football, just a limited amount of sports that they have, basketball, soccer, and maybe a couple other. I don't believe they don't play softball. I know that because we know everybody that plays softball in the CCAA. Let's go over to volleyball, because we have a game that's on sportsnetusa.net. Maybe over by now, but let's see if we can find it. And it seems as if Saddleback.
They're still going.
They're still going.
Yep.
And we have it at Saddleback has 2 sets to Pasadena City College is 1. So we'll see how that moves on. And we were talking about earlier, Mark, that this school, Saddleback, is having it's not that Cypress isn't having a good season and some other team, but they're having an almost phenomenal season here.
Well, you told me water polo.
Yeah, the women water polo team got into the state championship. They were the number 4 seed, so to speak. They got eliminated, but they were there. Saddleback's volleyball is in the playoffs. Saddleback, both the men's and women's soccer are in the playoffs, and the women are heavily favored to be, one of the last teams standing in this thing. It's basically Saddleback, Cypress, and maybe Pasadena.
Well, they had realized in Saddleback volleyball, they won last year. This year they played better. Their record is better. They did not win conference this year, but they're playing better this year, so that's pretty spectacular from them.
Yeah, so we'll see how that all works itself out. Final scores: Ventura, the Pirates beating the Mount San Jacinto Eagles in a game earlier, 3-0. Riverside and San Bernardino Valley. We have no score, but that game should be in progress and should be over. In the third set, Ohlone over Monterey Peninsula by a score of 2-0. Miracosta at Bakersfield, and we don't have a reported score. Maybe somebody got snowed in on the grapevine. Sequoias losing to Santa Rosa today in volleyball, 3-1. That one went 4 sets. And Los Medanos and Cosumnes River taking that in 3 sets, 25-25. So one other game, no score reported. Modesto and West Valley. West Valley having an excellent season too up north, and so is Modesto. West Valley in the water polo finals, they were taking on Golden West. Let's see if they could stop Golden West from winning. And we're getting ready to get underway again.
Yeah, and the Saddleback women, Ed, Cypress did it earlier. The women are doing it tonight. My dream scenario is getting a little closer because earlier in this season you heard me say, I'll take both of them. And you said with a little luck in the draw, we could have an OEC against OEC in soccer. At least for the southern section, the luck of the draw, if they both make it to the, quote, championship side of their brackets and they both win, both these teams will go up to the state to play. And then it'll be interesting to see if they put them in opposite brackets. So I'm feeling good about that one right now.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
They've got to be in opposite brackets. So it'd be, North 1 against South 2 and South 1 against North 2. So, yes, they would have a chance to play each other in the state championship game.
And I want to thank Mount Sac on the men's side and El Camino on the men's side for losing because earlier in the season.
I don't think they're going to say you're welcome, Mark.
I don't either, but I'm sure they were part of the group. With El Camino looking at me saying, what do you mean you say we're not going to get to the championship? I sort of liked the OEC teams that I saw. And so far, the 2 that I liked, they're moving on. So, I'm feeling good right now.
Now, are we seeing a little more?
Yeah, I thought we were.
Okay. Because, my eyes are bad. I can't see with or without my glasses on.
You know what I'm doing, Ed?
Everything's just looking kind of foggy.
I looked down at the track and I went, it's awfully wet if it's not raining anymore. Then I looked along the way and I was sort of like you, oh, old age is setting in. I've already called the couple right people with goals, so
yeah.
Don't expect too much from me here in the second half. On Sportsnet, USA.net, as your Bobcats are up 2-0. Here on SportsNetUSA.net. Matt, the wonderful man to my left who works here at Saddleback College, who always helps Ed and I, he's just saying, you know what? I think I got to see how many sick days I've got next week because next week could become challenging with football, soccer, volleyball, and who knows what else would get thrown at you because Matt does everything from a visual and an audio point of view here at Saddleback College. And when I say everything, I mean everything. Of course, then I'll look at Ed Ford and say, and so our Tuesday will consist of what? We'll find that out sometime this week here on SportsNetUSA.net. Don't forget Saddleback football. Tuesday at 2 o'clock, right, Ed? On Tuesday?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. Matt says, oh, wait a minute. I got to add that to my calendar. Bowl game. for your Bobcats against Bakersfield. And you are fortunate enough not to be traveling to Bakersfield on Tuesday. The Vikings right now are trying to find that road that might take them to some magical places. They're down 2-0 on a cold and damp day down on the field. Hasn't been raining, but it's a constant heavy mist that if you're wearing a jacket, well, you can ask Albert Robles because he protected some of our equipment earlier today through his hoodie on top of our camera. Looked like he took it out of a washer when we got done here on sportsnetusa.net. Corner for Long Beach. Headed out once again. And then it's a foot race to go down and see who gets there first. If the Bobcats, who on a great tap with the left foot, wanted to make sure that wasn't Hannah, because if it was, that was Allison Lozano. What a play she just made. She taps it away from the defender with her left foot and then takes off running. The defender she took it from is now down on the far side of the field here on sportsnetusa.net. It's got me looking at that gorgeous soccer field up north and thinking, I probably would bundle up in a fur coat, put on one of my little ski caps and call a game up there. That's absolutely beautiful as a soccer field. And that's one thing that Mr. Ford and I have talked about. A lot of teams, Ed, it's sort of amazing. A lot of teams this year has updated a lot of their fields. We'll always bring it up. It's always going to be a harping point here for sportsnetusa.net. If you're going to build a field, you're going to run into scheduling problems like Saddleback's got today, tomorrow, the next day, next Tuesday. You got to play night games. You can't have cars drive onto your field and have them turn on the headlights. So while you're building that field, everybody, you need to put lights in. If you can't figure that one out, walk around your house with no lights on for 3 days in a row. Make sure you have a hot cup of coffee in your hand, too. And when the dog trips you, don't get mad at the dog. You need to turn on the lights, just like you need to do at an athletic facility. Strong header there by Aubrey Perez. Perez is on the field early in this second half. Seam is still out there. Love the way that girl plays soccer because she really is. She plays the physical aspect of soccer here on sportsnetusa.net. Something that should never be forgotten in the game of soccer. As much as it looks like it's finesse, dancing ability, the way to float on air, it's also that getting knocked flat. Yeah, they're not all diving when they hit the turf. Long Beach just not being able to find any magic right now. Hoping to find magic. Can't find any. Keep searching. But 2-0. You're Long Beach again. I said this in the Compton game when the men played them last week here on sportsnetusa.net. Get one, you feel like you're back in the game. They were down 2-0 at the time. They got one back. They felt like they were there. The Bobcats countered, made it 3-1. Nobody felt comfortable till they got their last goal. I know at Cypress today, nobody felt comfortable till the whistle blew, even though they were up 4-0 in their game. And again, if you see the crash over on the far side of the field, once again, it's a physical game. Abby Campos now for the Vikings on this side of the field. So Campos, the midfielder, that'll walk the line on the near side of the field, looking for something they'll create. You watch Campos come back every time the ball is just laid out there. As Charlotte Grace gets it, she brings it back. Campos comes back to her. And the one thing you'll watch with this team that BJ coaches is they play defensive soccer when they get a lead, but they don't just lay back. Still, they've got 2 people up front. Everybody's back deep now. So you've got 4 on the defensive line for them right now. You probably drop a forward/midfielder back to your midfielders. So then your forwards actually are 2, but maybe 3 occasionally. So that leaves you 8 back defensively now for the Bobcats. Ball goes out. Vikings get it quickly. Abby Campos will throw it in. Throws it deep. Headed out by the Bobcats. And as the Bobcats attack one player from Long Beach, they try to. Campos has it flipped up to her. She resets things at the top of the key. Gets that over to Brianni Duarte. They take it back out. Goes back to Campos, who's going to take it herself across the middle of the field. Campos takes a running start. Runs into a brick wall of gold. And gets stopped right there. It was the one time Long Beach was in the middle, and now it's a run, and you just miss making the turn. If you're the Bobcats, it would have been 2-on-1 advantage defensively. What a missed chance for your Bobcats. So Long Beach City trying to penetrate the unpenetrable wall that's there. Just the top of the head skims it forward. This is where you flip it down. And again, now there will be that advantage on offense for the Bobcats. Making a lot of noise. It's Daniela Jara for your Bobcats. Deep drive down there by Allison Lozano, who's got an assist in this game. Turn, take it out. Little chop shot to the middle of the field. Whistle gets blown, and we have a player down from Long Beach behind the play. Never saw any contact, was following the ball up the field. It's Colt. Go ahead, Ed.
Yeah, I was just going to say, well, you did mention we have I don't know if we have a mist or whatever is going on.
It's a heavy mist, yeah.
And, it's artificial turf. And you certainly can slip, and like you said, trailing the play, and we certainly didn't see what happened.
You know, I like that fact, though, Ed. You brought it up because that's why I was interested when you told me about the team that had natural grass and turf. I found that interesting because, like you talked about, these fields get wet. It's real easy to go down. It feels like a slip and slide sometimes out there. Be the type of place that we should play golf on. No, not unless they're all downhill. Take Corey Nealon with us, Ryan Osborne.
And we should mention, on the next break we'll mention it,
throw in by your Bobcats. Again, they're going from left to right. Shot right there off a leg. Big, deep floater.
It's good. Well, Mark, you mentioned earlier about we went up north and did the women's golf last season. We didn't do it this time, but let's congratulate the Mount Sac Mounties. They are the 3C2A women's golf champions. They came and played well in that second round, and Modesto had a lead, but Modesto kind of ballooned their top players, and the Mounties took advantage of that and took the championship.
It was up at a course around Pismo Beach, wasn't it?
Yes. What is that, Monarch Beach, I think,
okay.
course or something like that? Course I've never played at. Oh, my gosh.
From the right corner, as Ed and I are talking golf, and that was better than a golf shot, as all of a sudden it's just the far out corner that is taken. And Ed and I both sort of looked at that and watched it go in there. Ed, you couldn't have placed that ball any better than it when it went in and made it. And it's now the Bobcats 3 on a great shot. It looked nonchalant, didn't it? It was like, okay, let me kick it and see if that's it. And Emery Simmons. So the Bobcats up 3-0 with 31 minutes, and now the door, if you are Long Beach, the door is slowly closing. You've got to start bringing everybody up for the Vikings. Both the women and the men. Here's the thing that's interesting, Ed. In the last two games that you and I have done, people that normally don't score are now scoring for them. They're finding new people to be productive on the field. Three nothing. And now you can play it really slow and easy. Take it up the middle. Try to make a run. They call a foul. So they called a foul against Saddleback, who had the offensive possession of the ball. The defender stepped in front of him, which they made. They didn't run through the defender. They didn't push the defender down. And the referee blows a whistle. Sort of a little Maybelline call by the referee. Could be a little Revlon, however you're looking at it. Now BJ is warming up more people on the sideline. This is the one thing that I admire about this head coach, that he doesn't mind winning by 5 or 6. But he would rather get other players out there and give them the opportunity to learn the game in a game situation. And when he needs them, they are available.
Yeah, it only benefits the team overall, because then everybody has a taste, everybody knows what they have to do, and
the ladies in gold make another run. Then the far side, try to drop it in the middle. Nice run there made by Allison Lozano up the left side, and then dropped it at the last second, trying to get it over to Daniela Yara. And we'll see if that's what they do, Ed, for the remaining 29 minutes in this game, comfortably up by 3. 16 minutes have been played. It's the Bobcats 3, The Vikings 0 here on SportsNetUSA.net.
Tackle made by.
Yeah, exactly. Are we going to get a card? See if somebody gets booked there? No. Which I like that they did not. And BJ says, that's okay. She's coming out of the game anyway. I'm going to bring somebody else in. Morgan Alvarez now comes into the game. So Alvarez in. As Janae Saeed comes out of the game. Drop to Layla. Layla has it taken down. Hasn't been able to find that goal for this Long Beach team. And this is where you like the simplified program that BJ runs for soccer. Hey, on defense, if you're in trouble, find an empty space, take the ball there, and make sure it's on an angle heading out of bounds, not directly up the middle. You will watch the young women that have been taught by him who will do that like clockwork. Another inadvertent handball awarded to Long Beach. A little handball off of Daniela Yara, or Jara. I call her Yara. And Ed was talking about us looking supposedly at the fogginess by the lights, and Ed, it just feels like it's coming down a little stronger. You get that feeling standing in here looking across the way? And there is another goal. This time by Long Beach. So Long Beach finally gets on the board.
Shot and goal for the Vikings. And the goal is number 6, Danica Hunter.
So Danica Hunter gets that goal at the 26-minute mark. And that was too nonchalant by your Bobcats. And I'm going to take the goal away from Hunter. She stuck with it. But now you see the importance of goal number 3 for your Bobcats. The score was not cut in half. Still got that 2-goal lead that you had when you started this half. So very...
That's her first goal of the season for Long Beach.
So just a very easy little goal taken. No call on the play.
Well, it's certainly something, Mark. Your first goal of the season is in a playoff game.
There you go. As long as your first goal is it not in your 70s, you're doing pretty well. Deep kick again. Long Beach standing there by themselves. So the coverage of body to body, person to person, marking an individual has become waning for the young women from Long Beach. And the coordination out here, when you look at what's going on right now, you look on the back line, you want to say to Allison Lozano, hey, you know what? Let's take our time in finding people out there. You want to look at Daniela Yara. Just slow it down just a little on the offensive side. And have it go out. Again, it was a haphazard, you take it, I don't want it, goal that got in for Long Beach. Point is, they made it, and that's what matters. And when in trouble, you do exactly that. You do what Islas Hernandez just did.
Santiago Canyon 2, Mount San Antonio 1.
So we just heard that Santiago Canyon has eliminated Mount Sac in the playoffs.
So another OEC team will move on. So so far, it's the OEC that has been the dominant conference at this stage of the playoffs. And of course, let me give a little love to my partner, Corey Nayland, who always says toughest conference in California, OEC. Toughest conference in the nation, OEC. Corey, I don't know. You're looking like you know more than I know. Well, you probably do.
Yeah, but what kind of peanut butter and jelly sandwich does he like?
One that he eats?
Yeah.
That's exactly it. Long Beach, finding the lackness of defense, now all of a sudden has decided to make the attack. And they do feel that player goes down. And they give, as the player probably went down, but then grabbed, from Long Beach, grabbed a Bobcat player while they were on the ground, brought them down. Therefore, you're going to get that penalty kick from about 25 yards out. A little further than that, but it's about 25. Emery, Seamus will take the shot as they start to move. Pinch, just on the goal directly. Hook right or left and you can't control it. It's another goal for the Bobcats. We got 20 minutes to play. They're up by 2. Your Bobcats need to find a little way to slow down the Vikings. And the Vikings need to find a way to find one more and then make this a turkey shoot. And I mean, on this weekend, it would be a turkey shoot because of the holiday seasons here on Sportsnet, USA.net. Sidney Trump takes it out to the right. At the corner, so it should be throw in for Long Beach. Abby Campos will throw it in. Stays with Long Beach, so Campos will throw it in again. See if Abby, she does. This time she goes in the middle. It goes back to Abby. Abby's going to take it back out, restart it. Wide open field on the other side is where Abby has the ball go after Danica Hunter. Gets it over there, and Danica's got the lone goal in this game for Long Beach City. Pitch shot down to the right. Now it's a foot race. Hopefully you can make the turn. Coming in, goalie for box. Try to go out. Goalie comes out and gets there. Clean play by the Bobcats. There was no control on the ball when the goalie goes down on the ground. She slides early. Therefore, the player has the option to kick the ball, not with the intent of hurting the goalie, with the intent of getting a goal in. Campos doing it by herself, dropping it in the middle. On the back door side, easy clean play, 18:04 to go in this half. 27 minutes have been played. In this second half, it's the Bobcats 3, the Vikings 1 here on SportsNetUSA.net. And now if you're the Vikings, you really do start looking at, hey, let's just take it as far as we can because the clock's working against us. This is the second half. We've got 18 minutes, and we've got to get 2. Goes all the way to the corner.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Mark, that it takes your team basically 60 minutes, 45 in the first half, to score a goal. You're down to 16 minutes. You do need to really start pressing here.
Yeah.
You've got to score a goal quickly because you can't score another goal in 60 more minutes because by then you'll be on the bus and you're heading home.
Yeah. Janae Saeed is back in the game for the women of Saddleback. So BJ has decided, hey, you know what? Put a little more firepower out there. We're not going to play it safe. We're going to make sure we secure this. The men already did that earlier today for the Bobcats. Remember, Tuesday, Saddleback football. Make sure you check the schedule to see what's going on with soccer, be it Saddleback and or Cypress College, here on SportsNetUSA.net, and any other playoff teams that may be out there that are associated with the teams that we broadcast for here on SportsNetUSA.net. Little turn, laid left on the ground. There's a tug and a pull, nothing called. Grab an arm, turn him around, top of the shoulders. Let's dance if we can. Towards the box and out. 15 minutes to go. We're getting out of round 2 and heading for round 3. Here on SportsNetUSA.net. Albert Robles calling volleyball playoffs tonight. Saddleback involved in that one. You can catch probably the tail end of that if you want to here on SportsNetUSA.net. Albert also calling East LA basketball on SportsNetUSA.net. As we get deeper into the athletic season, be voicing a little baseball on SportsNetUSA.net. Multi-talented Albert Robles.
And Mark, that ELAC basketball game, it's a women's game, and they're going to be taking on OCC,
Really?
defending state champs.
Wow. That'd be a fun game.
Orange Coast played in the Ocala Classic last year. They played Butte in a big game, the number 2 team in the state against the number 1 team in the state. So we were fortunate enough to stream that game on sportsnetusa.net. Do not know who's going to be in this year's Ocala Classic, but they always get some good teams, and they always get a couple teams from Northern California to come down. So, that's one of our things we like to see, the North come down or the South go up, and not in the playoffs, just in the regular season. There's no reason why that we can't see more of that.
Fullerton College men win their game 1-0. Cypress men, with 9 minutes to go in their soccer game, trailing Long Beach City College 1-0. So it's defense that wins another fun for Regabiles over at Fullerton College. Cypress hoping to find a little magic like their women did so that Nemesis at Cypress and Fullerton can play each other. Bobcats looking for one more goal in this game with 12:23 to go. Drive it to the middle. Looking for somebody to cut towards the basket. Everybody's slowing down a little as it goes out. Exactly 12 minutes to play. A little more timeout as we have players coming over the sideline. Just saying, you know what? I'm a little tired. Morgan Alvarez is going to come back in the game for your Bobcats. So Alvarez is going to go up as a forward. So BJ says, yeah, I need to get a little fresh body over there so we can get a little more zip with 11 minutes to go. Long Beach City says, I got to find something. Danica Hunter dropped a pretty pass to Abby Campos. Abby Campos couldn't do anything with it. Had to give it back to her. And now the Vikings are coming up, Ed, like you said. You mentioned it. I think they should have listened to you a little sooner with basically 11 minutes to go. They're moving everybody upfield. And it's a one-on-one run. Off the foot. If you could have taken it across, you would have had one of your own players wide open at the 20. Compose yourself, set your feet, pass the ball to an open space, and let your partner run to it. With 10 minutes to go. Here in the second half, it's the Bobcats 3. The Vikings 1 here on sportsnetusa.net. Vikings looking for something just to happen, but the tyrannical defense is going to be the answer for the Bobcats. Ball gets spotted about 30 yards out. We'll see who's going to take the kick for your Bobcats. Mason Morton. No, it was actually Caton Ramirez. Took that kick. So Caitlin takes the kick. Step on the ball, put a foot on it, stop it. And you know, Ed, I got to take a peek because there sounds like I think they're just sitting all below us. Okay. I keep hearing this crowd out there, and yet I don't see any faces, so I feel like I'm in the netherworld right now. Got Viking weather going on outside, the netherworld below Ed and I. I'm going to become really afraid when Ed announces on the air he just bought a home in Northern California. Long Beach City says that's what we need to find. Should realize we're not going to Northern California, we're going south. Ball goes out, stays with the Vikings. Goes back out, it'll be another throw in for the Vikings. Campos throws it in quickly. Abby's got a nice little pitch and touch, throws it at Sophia Lepe. Lepe's getting it to the other side of the field. Deep kick. Come up and get the ball. And that's what happens. Ed, once again, goalkeeper hesitant, almost gives up an easy goal to Long Beach. Middle of the field is wide open. If you hold on to it and look to your left, Ed, the middle of the field is wide open with somebody running down in gold. All you had to do was flip it to the center, and it's one-on-one against the goalkeeper. No, it's a lot easier with me up here seeing the field from the way we do, but it's one of those things where you just want to yell out the window, look to your left. Might still be unbiased because everybody looked to their left. 6:21. So I'm going to say roughly 8 minutes are left when we add stoppage time. Long Beach again had an opportunity for goal number 2 when the goalie hesitates and doesn't go after the ball. And that's the other thing now. You really do, as we're going to get replacements. Coming in for the Vikings, Cameron Velasquez. So Cameron Velasquez now in for the Vikings. Katie Benitez now in for your Bobcats. Up and over. By the time that ball's retrieved, there is 5 minutes to go. The men win earlier today. The women trying to repeat.
Well, unless Long Beach just throws everybody into the offense, there's just not enough time for them to do anything, Mark. They're down by 2 goals, and we're getting close to that 4-minute mark.
Deep kick. So you've got 5 deep for the Bobcats, who need to get to the ball first anytime it's out there. Feed it down the middle. Now, this should be a card. I'm going to say this is going to be on the Bobcats down at the 10, and it is. You get that unsafe slide down there, so they'll spot it at the 20. Charlotte Grace drops it now, finally gets rid of it. Grace had it. She was going to take it up by herself for the Vikings, and she loses the ball halfway up. Goes over to Josephina English. Josephina has that come off. So it's 2-on-2. You can hear the bench for BJ yelling at the girls, run. Throw in for BJ's team. Daniela drops it at the footsteps. Now she picks it up again. Clock goes a little more. 2:52 to go here on sportsnetUSA.net. Referee saying, stay there. You don't get to go running up the field to throw in the ball. Tapped away. Two-minute mark. Add one, I'm going to say 3 minutes is left in the game. Shot deep, knocked down. And it's one of those now, hey, let's just take a shot just for the fun of it. Never had the chance to do it. And if you're the Vikings, well, you just want to find something as Laura Vasquez gets taken down at midfield here on sportsnetUSA.net. So Vasquez is down. Going to put the ball at the 45. 1:24 to go. Big leg, clear it out if you're the Bobcats. That's what you do. Be down to a minute. Again, get it out. Need to make sure nobody can turn on it. Nobody can. Inadvertent contact. Get to the ball first and take up off field. 54 seconds. Now, look to your left. There it is. Take it in. Don't stop. And if you take it in, you're sitting there all together. $50 seconds to go here on sportsnetUSA.net.
How's it going? You doing okay? I brought your tripod back. How'd it go? Smooth. It's okay. Yeah, I figured.
Stoppage time, so the Vikings are trying to get other people on that may not be playing this week. Kayla Velasquez comes into the game for your Vikings.
If you're hungry, there's sandwiches in the other room, in the media room.
Okay.
So you're welcome to grab anything in there.
Is it just labeled media?
Yeah.
304. Yeah, just go in there.
Shot on goal.
Wow. Nice job.
Albert Robles calling the volleyball match, as I would assume Saddleback came out victorious.
3-1. It was a good one.
3-1. So they move off in the playoffs. No call. Shot on the far side. Knocked down.
They'll face LA Mission.
This is where you wonder, just like we saw the other day in the Compton game, when a referee knew there was no opportunity for the opponents to come back, they didn't allow a lot of stoppage time. We'll see if that happens here on SportsNetUSA.net.
Almost done.
Matt's being positive to the left of me.
Almost done.
Ball goes out in favor of the Bobcats. Up 3-1 here on Sportsnet. Don't forget, check the homepage for the athletic department. See when these games get scheduled. Check the homepage for SportsNetUSA.net. See what games are scheduled. So that if you're not available, you might be able to watch your favorite team here on SportsNetUSA.net. At the last second. Oh, I'm going to double clutch with my left foot. I'm going to kick it in. And you know what? That should, if I was the official, let everybody come back on the field, and then I'm going to blow my whistle and say, that's the game. Should I kick it? Shouldn't I kick it? Should I try? Should I?
That's the game.
And that's it. As your Bobcats are going to get away with a magnificent victory tonight here against Long Beach City College. For Albert Robles, for Ed Ford, for Matt, for the old guy, thank you tonight for coming and watching exciting 3C, two-way community college playoff games on the women's side here on SportsNetUSA.net.